Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to The Vulnerable, a mental health podcast run by voice actors where we prove that vulnerability is something to be proud of. My name is KENNEY HIBBERT. I'm a voice actor. I am a mental health advocate. I am a human being, and I'm so excited to have you here today. The Vulnerable, as I mentioned, is a mental health podcast where we talk with some amazing voice actors, and the goal is to be honest, truthful, and vulnerable, which is really, really terrifying. But hey, if we can do it, you can do it too. As a general reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please check out the resources in the description, curated by both me and my mom, who is a licensed psychologist. Oh, that's another thing. I'm not a licensed psychologist, so take everything we say here with a grain of salt. We are supporters, we are not fixers, but we are here for you. With that out of the way, let's get into the vulnerability of the day. That was so lame. The vulnerability of the day, or the VOT dub, is where I go first and share a vulnerability before we get started with our amazing guest who I'm super excited to introduce. Okay. My vulnerability of the week is that I am really nervous to be here right now. If you watched our first episode, or just the first 5 minutes of our first episode, I admitted to going through a very hard time making this first episode because I am the least qualified person to start a podcast. Why? Because I have an anxiety disorder that makes me a perfectionist. And when I care about something and I want to make it perfect and it doesn't go perfect, I fall into a shame spiral and I get very, very hard on myself. So that's my vulnerability, is I'm here and I am taking another swing at this because I believe in the mission of this podcast. I believe in these conversations, and I know that if I can be vulnerable, you can too. So I'm very nervous to be here right now, but honestly, I feel a lot better after admitting that. And I'm just so excited to get into today's episode. And so that is my vulnerability of the day. Thank you so much for your time, and let's get into the episode. Okay, with that out of the way, that was so scary. I'm so glad I did it, though. Let's introduce guest. I haven't introduced you yet.
Oh,
cut back to me. Okay, there we go. Today's guest is an amazing voice actor. They are known as the voice of Udius in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Ketra in Trails Through Daybreak, and Damon in the recently released Date Everything. Go play it now. It's out. It just came out. This voice actor is pretty freaking awesome, and they're also a very great friend of mine. I'm so excited to have them here. Hello, John Patneaude.
Thank you so much for having me, Kennedy.
I am so excited for this.
Also, I mean, I know you were sharing your, vulnerabilities up front, but you are more than qualified to be here. I want to let you know that. You're very professional.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say. Thank you. That's very, very kind. I will try to process that over a very long amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's very kind of you to say. And, something that I've come to realize recently is we don't have to be perfect.
No, and it's hard because we feel like there should be more within our control than there actually is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I know I used to be, and like I still get this way, where I feel like I can control every single aspect of what I do career-wise, or trying to like banging my head against the wall trying to make whatever self-tape or audition that I submit perfect, because also especially when you're just beginning in this industry, you feel like you have to you're running up like the steepest hill possible.
Oh,
because
don't I know it.
This is just a reality. Also, I love the power that I can look directly into the camera and being like, hello, audience.
That's right.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that.
Ha-ha!
Eye contact.
But no, it's interesting because we're in the entertainment field. People want to work with people that they've worked with before, and it makes sense because they know that they're reliable and they can consistently, deliver good results.
Mm-hmm.
And especially lately, I worry that lots of, producers and people making casting decisions don't want to take chances on new people, it's really frustrating when you're trying to get your foot in the door. But I think worrying about that and trying to somehow maximize how good of a foot forward you're putting. I could have phrased that better, but we're going with it.
Lovely.
Like putting your best foot forward, as long as like you're doing your best and you are being, truthful as an actor, and you're having fun, which I feel that is part of our job that I feel like goes overlooked. We forget to have fun because we want the thing so much.
Yeah, and again, like
Yeah.
going back to perfectionism, we want everything to be great.
Yeah.
We want everything to be perfect.
Exactly,
Like, I don't know
yeah.
how many takes you record when you send auditions.
I it's interesting how this ends up being the case, but it's the auditions that I think about the least and end up having the most fun on, that I end up either getting called back for or booking. And then the stuff that I work on for hours and hours until I'm like, yes, this is perfect, I never hear back from.
It's almost like
Yeah.
striving for perfection does nobody any favors.
That's right, audience.
That's right. Oh, and
Yeah.
gosh, that is such a lesson I am trying to learn over and over again. You're
Yeah.
very wise for saying that.
Well, I
and-
mean, I say that, but also, and I'm self-aware of it. Do I do I do that? Do I practice that? Not often. But I try to keep that in mind.
yeah. And I think it's a lesson that we can learn over and over and over again
Yeah.
for the rest of our lives. We can live forever knowing that, like, we don't have to strive for perfection. We're good enough.
Yeah.
But, like, how often do we really... Does there ever come a point
Mhm.
where we just accept that fact and live the rest of our lives just authentically? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think, like, also, we're in our 20s, it's I don't think, I mean, I would love to meet, a 20-something who has their life all put together, who's like, nothing's wrong, I'm perfect, I'm happy. Please show me that person.
I would like to meet someone at any age
Yeah.
who is
No,
like,
no, we
nothing is
all have
wrong.
hangups. We all have things that, we wish we had that we
Mhm.
don't. We look at other people and see what they have, and we wish that we had what they had. It's, it's a whole envy, semi-jealousy spiral.
Absolutely.
Um,
And comparison. I mean,
Oh my God.
talk about self-worth. Comparison is just the
All-
catalyst for
I mean,
so much
all
of that.
those sayings, like comparison is the thief of joy.
Mhm.
It's so like stereotypical and apropos, but it's true.
Have you learned anything that has, like, helped you in regards to the jealousy, the comparison when it comes to your work?
It's a good question. I think just the longer that I keep doing this, the more I realize a lot of these feelings just aren't helpful. They're not doing me any favors.
Mhm.
Because I think for a while I thought that if I was, aware of these feelings, it would drive me to do better, to push me, and sometimes it would, but often I would just spend most of my time feeling sorry and bad for myself and angry at myself for not being for not booking this type of project by this age,
Mhm.
and feeling like I was the failure amongst my other friend group who
Oh,
who
that's
I'm just like
terrible.
they're in like so and so game, and I'm like I no one cares who I am, like looking for all these external external validation points.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I completely
Mhm.
relate and empathize so much. Actually, one of the reasons I was really nervous to start this podcast,
Mhm.
especially because it's like voice actors
Yeah.
talking about mental health, is like,
Mhm.
but who am I as a voice actor? Like,
Mhm.
who? I'm a no name. I'm a nobody. I don't have a career. I'm not, Matt Mercer or Fred Tatasciore or Laura Bailey or like,
Who are those people?
oh, shut up. You know and love those people. We all do.
I do. They're
But
amazing.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love them so much.
Mhm.
Please come on our podcast.
Yeah.
But I was really concerned because, yeah, it's like everyone just seems like they're
Mhm.
moving ahead so quickly
Yeah.
and we're just falling behind.
Yeah.
And, I've only been doing this for a few years. I only just got signed with my agent. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Like the pressure of having to rise up and be in competition with everybody
Mhm.
and still show up and put in your best work, even though you just feel so far behind. It is
Yeah.
so crushing.
One thing that I've come to the realization of is I feel like you can't really accept that it's, you'll get there when you get there until you get there.
Wise
Because
words.
like in summation of like every voiceover thing I've done ever, like whether in studio, with an agency, online, over Twitter. I've been doing this since late 2017. So I did this all throughout college. With my, I remember I had a cardboard box that I would stuff acoustic foam into, record into my AT 2020, and then I draped a moving blanket over myself, and then I went into the supposedly soundproof library study rooms at the Goldstein Library in Sarasota, Florida, at Ringling College of Art and Design, and record many an audition that I did not book. But hey,
What a start. That's great.
It was practice,
We've all had the moving blankets over our head at some point.
But yeah, no, exactly. Like I've been doing this for like 8, 9 years.
Wow.
Math is hard. But yeah, and it's taken me, I feel like, longer than a lot of other people to get to where I want to be, because we have a lot of mutual friends. They started voiceover right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Whether they were, on camera actors who, couldn't be on sets anymore, or just people who had always wanted to get into it. And then, that's when a lot of voiceover classes became available online over Zoom. And I feel like a lot of those people, they just locked in. You told me not to swear, and I almost did. So thank you.
Do it.
Yeah,
do it. I'll censor it. Do it.
They locked the fuck in. My God.
They did lock the in.
They really did. And like, more power to them. It's like it was their hyperfixation, and they were able to achieve so much in such a small amount of time. But you know what? I've realized, yeah, I feel like I've been able to achieve similar things like, if it took them 1 year to do that, it took me maybe 2 years. But you know what? We both still did it. Like, that's all anyone's going to see at the end of the day. Again, I feel like I'm going to be, spewing out like a bunch of like generalities and sayings, but it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Absolutely. And that doesn't just apply to voiceover, right?
No, exactly.
I mean, in
yeah.
every single part of our life. People just move at different paces.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
Because I want to move as fast as everyone else. In fact, I want to move faster than everyone else. But,
I think, I forget the name of the show, and I've never seen it, but the premise of the show, there's a TV show, oh God. Okay, someone's going to comment the name of the show, but like, it was like an Apple TV show that starred Chris O'Dowd, and the premise of the show is there's this magic door that appears in this small town, and people go in the door, and when they come out, they unlock their full potential.
Whoa.
And I feel like unlocking your full potential and like getting rid of all the mental barriers that's holding you back, the idea of that reality for yourself is very tantalizing. But I do feel like that's true for some people, but then, I'll get into like an overthinking spiral, being like, is this my full potential? And like, it's just not that good. Like, is this it? Is it all downhill from here?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I still working on, breaking down those barriers and, like finding that aha moment that will let me be more free. But
what would you say are like some of those barriers for you? Those mental barriers that you feel like are stopping you from achieving your full potential?
I struggle with confidence a lot. Confidence and a lot of, I feel like less so lately, but a lot of negative self-talk.
Yeah.
If I feel like if I'm not, especially in our industry where, we get directed and, we'll take direction, and then if I don't know if you feel this way, but like if I have to get redirected like more than like 3 or 4 times, I'm like, oh God, I'm wasting their time. No.
Try just one time. It's like, I didn't get it perfect on the first try. Damn it!
Yeah, no, it's just like, what? I wasn't amazing off the bat? What is this?
There are so many times, because we take a lot of classes together, a lot of voiceover classes, and there is that feeling of like, okay, you meet a director or someone that you really want to impress, and you get up and you pour your heart out very vulnerably, and then they tell you like, fix this, and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, like, especially depending on like what class you take, because you get to a point where, I feel like when we were starting, the Zoom classes, it was a lot of, people that were just starting like us. But I've started taking a lot of classes where I'm like, oh, I grew up listening to this person during my childhood, and they're taking the class with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to look bad in front of them. And there's a class I took, I think. I'm not going to say the name of the teacher or like anyone there, but it was a very prominent video game director. And there were a lot of people in the class whom I respected, and my want was more so to impress the people in the class and to prove to them that I deserve to be there versus, the actual wants and desires of the character.
Or of yourself.
Or of myself, yeah. And I felt, because I got nervous, I felt like, my read sort of suffered. And I got like so, I just shrank, I crumpled, and, it was not a great day.
So
Yeah.
when you talk about like experiences like that and negative self-talk, what are some of the things that you tell yourself in your brain, or what are some of the things that you hear?
I try to remind myself objectively, you're doing fine. You're literally, like, the fact that you're able to make a full-time, I'm talking about myself in the third person.
Yes.
Excuse me. Like John, the fact that you were able to make a full-time living as an actor, let alone a voice actor, in one of the most expensive cities in America.
Yeah.
You're able to pay your rent and pay for food. Doing this alone, that you're killing it, dude. Like, don't sweat it. You'll get this.
And then what are the negative thoughts that are fighting with those, do you think?
I mean, the negative thoughts of like you should have, gotten further in your career by now. You're not, you're too scatterbrained. You're not good enough for the stuff that you want to be in one day. Your peers are getting this way faster than you, and you're dumb, you're stupid. And you're not able to comprehend what people are asking of you. Stuff like that. It's fun.
Wow.
I will say, one thing that I wanted to share, and this was a big aha moment for me. So last year I was taking this Meisner acting course, and typically with Meisner, it's like a 2-year acting course, and like the first year's 10 months, second year's 10 months. I took the first year, and then I wasn't able to like complete the second year just due to time constraints.
Sure.
That's not important to the story. But what is important is we were doing, I forget what exercise we're doing, but I believe we were doing probably repetition scenes.
As Meisner
Yeah.
does.
As Meisner does.
As Meisner does.
As Meisner does?
As Meisner does.
That actually isn't like typically you make like an objective like statement like.
Well, that's why I dropped out of Meisner class, because I sucked at it.
Wait, were you actually in Meisner class?
Well, for like a few months. It's whatever.
Yeah,
it wasn't for me.
I mean that's
wow.
fair.
I just bombed that in front of everybody.
Hey, listen.
Some actor I am.
No,
God.
listen. Like, we all have to like find the method that works for us. It's like there isn't like one correct acting method. I took some very great tools from it, particularly in emotional preparation and relationship work. Speaking of that, we were working on putting a lot of those pieces together. So I think it was a 2-person improvised scene with repetition and emotional preparation, where one of us would go behind the stage and, emotionally prepare. And the person on stage would be doing their independent activity, which, has to be difficult, if not almost impossible to do. And then I have to, if I'm preparing backstage, I have to go in and get my scene partner to do what I want them to do. But do it through the lens of repetition and everything. Yeah, okay, come on, brain, do it. Basically, I don't remember what exactly happened that made me frustrated. All I remember is that I got a negative critique. My teacher was also very, he was kind of savage.
Oh,
and
savage?
Like, savage, like, not in like, like a super aggressive way. It was
And
just
then he
like,
ripped his shirt off and started
ah!
banging on the
Yeah.
walls.
No, but he was like, he could be a little cruel and harsh in his critiques, being like, that was like, very boring to watch.
Oh.
That wasn't interesting. The thing is, I would interpret that feedback as, I'm boring to watch. I'm not interesting. I suck.
Isn't it weird how the
Yeah.
brain does that sometimes? And just
Yeah.
going back to like negative self-talk, I think that is such a big part of it. Is we have these thoughts that are literally just thoughts. They are fleeting. They are untrue. They are not tangible, and we make them fact.
Yeah,
we make them pertain
you're
to
doing
us
it-
and ourselves.
Your brain is doing it to yourself. And, often these thoughts are normally in my head, but I think that day I was like getting verbally like very upset with myself, being like, I'm never gonna freaking get this. I feel like I suck. Like I'm never gonna do this. I'm never gonna be able to, do the work that's required of me, even though like I'm putting in so much effort to do it. I feel like I'm built wrong. And I don't know what I said for my teacher to trigger this, but at a certain point he stopped me and was like, John, if you keep saying that about yourself, if you keep saying that you'll never be able to do the work to the level that it deserves, it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy and you will never be able to do it. And that was like okay. Because I thought, I think I convinced myself that me being hard on myself was proactive, that it was helping me keep in check and, not be lazy, not be slack-offish.
Being humble,
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah, and not being delusional about my my ability. However, it's it's a pendulum, and it swung too far the other way, where I was so unconfident and felt like I had to be so much better than I was, without taking into account that the stuff that I am able to do is pretty darn good, I think.
I think so too.
And I think that also parlays into affirmations, which I know people make fun of, like daily affirmations of like, you are strong, you are confident, but it kind of works.
I do not like people that make fun of affirmations, because why is it socially acceptable for us to be in our minds and telling ourselves everything we are not and everything we cannot do? And honestly, it's even more socially acceptable for us to outwardly express those things. We can't this, we can't that, we hate this about ourselves. For some reason, I feel like it's almost unpopular to be confident. It's unpopular to praise yourself, and to, like, humility is important, but to recognize what's great about yourself and to admit that.
I think it's because, especially in our generation, I feel like confidence can be misconstrued as arrogance.
Yes. And everyone is afraid of being arrogant.
Yeah,
so
no one wants to be arrogant. Yeah.
This is something I really recognized when I was in high school, and I had a thought of just like, wait, is it trendy to be like self-deprecating? I remember like walking through the halls and talking to my friends, and everyone would always like, hey, how'd you sleep last night? Terrible. Oh, me too. It sucked. I got no hours of sleep. How you look nice today? Oh, I look fine. I terrible. Oh God, I'm so bad at this. I'm so that.
Yeah.
I hate myself. I can't do anything. Well, thanks, but I'm useless. And unbeknownst to myself, like, I adapted those too, because we don't want to be arrogant, and because we confuse confidence and arrogance, we are afraid of being confident, even though, like you were just talking about affirmations, those can be very, very powerful, because it's incredibly hard to think nice things about yourself, honestly. It's actually easier, I think, personally, to say them to yourself in the mirror. Just words. You don't have to mean them. You just have to say them.
If you don't believe them, they become true eventually.
Exactly. I had a moment where I don't usually do affirmations, but I did one the other day. Oh my gosh, this is funny. Full circle. This was actually the day I recorded the podcast. Brief story time. And it ties into negative self-talk and self-esteem and all that. I had recorded the podcast. I came home, and then, as I described, I was like super shame spiral, like, oh, I can't believe I did this. Oh, I can't believe I did that. to treat myself, I went to go see a movie, Thunderbolts. I saw it 7 times. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus. Go watch it.
I gotta say, I don't think I've seen any movie 7 times.
But yeah, I watched Thunderbolts.
Mhm.
Maybe because it had to do with mental health. Maybe because it has to do with exactly what we're talking about today of love and compassion.
Yeah.
Whatever. I went to go see Thunderbolts, and I went by myself. Duh. And I was in one of those movie theater seats that is like they're duo, but they have like something in the middle.
Oh,
You're sitting with like a partner.
Is it the one in the mall?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to that and I sat down, and who sat next to me but this beautiful man? And I was like, oh my goodness. What a meet cute. Like, I should ask for his number. And I like could have sworn like when we were watching the movie, he would be like, and I was like, is he looking at me? Like, I got really giddy and excited but also like I fear intimacy and I'm afraid of everything. So what ended up happening was like the movie ends, he walks out, I realize he's also there alone, and I'm like, okay, let's go ask for his number. Like, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it for forever. And because it's the mall, like you have to walk a while to get back to your car. And before we like split ways, I was just like, my inner monologue was like so loud of like, do it, Ken, do it. Like, you're a coward. Go do it right now, or you're going to hate yourself. Ken, I hate what you're doing right now. I hate this about you. Do it. Oh my God, go do it. And then I didn't. And it just destroyed me. It's so funny. It's something so small, and honestly, I feel really childish and very vulnerable, like expressing it, because like, I don't know. Again, I have a fear of like dating and intimacy and all that stuff. But I remember
those things can be like really scary in the moment, though.
Really scary in the moment. And I went home and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I had like almost tears in my eyes because I had a very long day. And I said, "You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy." It was like manic, but I just said it over and over again. They were just words. Just words. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't believe it, but I knew it had to start there.
Yeah.
Because there was no way I was going to make any sense of this. It was very powerful.
Yeah.
And I think it just comes to show that even a little bit of kindness can go a long way. Yeah. Because that stuck with me. And enough times, and I think I've realized I am worthy of love.
You are.
I think I am.
Yeah.
So, affirmations. Hey, do you want to challenge my beautiful, lovely viewers? How about you pause this video right now and say something nice about yourself? John, do you want to go first? Do you want to say something nice about yourself?
Oh, man. So, do I have to do it like I'm talking to myself in a mirror?
You can do it however you want. Whatever way it makes sense.
All right. Do I have to look into the camera?
No.
Okay.
If you want, here, this is your phone.
Oh.
I'm going to take it. Here.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Hello. Hi. You have good hair.
Oh, come on. That is such a cop-out. Say something nice about you, your personality.
Okay. You are very kind and caring.
How did that feel? Was that hard to do? I saw you stutter a little bit.
It was hard to do because, like, I think, no, this goes back to what we were saying. Like, it's hard to do affirmations and without them feeling braggy. Because there was a moment near the end where I'm like, I feel like I'm bragging about myself. And I'm like, I'm so kind and caring.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't think that was arrogant. Viewers, did you think that was arrogant? Matt, beautiful engineer, did you think that sounded arrogant? He's shaking his head.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Do you want to get like a Matt cam eventually for this podcast?
Yeah, we'll get a Matt cam eventually. Thanks, Matt. You're great.
Yeah. No.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. No. It's funny. This just goes to show that like we're all works in progress. I'm not perfect. Like my own brain is just like, no, don't do that. That's stupid. When it's like, no, it's not. It's fine.
Well, again, thank you for doing that and being the first to go.
Yeah.
Just so that you don't have to be alone, I will do it too.
Okay.
Wait, look at it. Just kidding.
You look good.
Hi, Ken. You are so brave for being here today and doing this really awesome, amazing thing.
Mhm.
You're right. That did feel arrogant.
Yeah.
What?
Like, it's weird. Like, I think also there's, like, the aspect of, like, this is being filmed and put up on YouTube.
Sure.
Yeah. That,
Sure. But
that,
with our generation
Mhm.
specifically, there is like almost a trendiness of insecurity.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
like, because again, we just did that exercise
Yeah.
and we felt arrogant, but
Mhm.
we weren't. What do you think are some ways that we can try to like overcome this? Or is there things that you've learned in your life that have allowed you to be more vulnerable
Um,
and more accepting of yourself? Or is that still a journey that you think you're on?
I think it's still a journey because, even when, you asked me, hey, do an affirmation, and was put on the spot, it's like, oh, I'm like struggling to come up with nice things about myself.
Isn't that so weird?
Yeah.
But then if I asked you, and don't answer this question, John, what's something you don't like about yourself? Don't answer that question. But are there ideas coming to your head right now?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, it's easier to think of those than nice things about myself.
Yeah.
Because I also think, because, and I'm trying to like string like an epiphany together as I'm like talking through this, but um, because we were so overexposed online, I think a lot of us were either overly empathetic, maybe not overly empathetic, but like like more willing to be empathetic towards strangers, because we were, shown, throughout, YouTube and like online of like, oh, this is how these other people are treated, and and their experiences, and it's like, okay, I want to care about that. On the other side, because of the internet, you're able to be have more anonymity on the internet. um I feel like that also has resulted in a lack of empathy a lot of times, because generally speaking, people like face to face in person are much more kind in person versus online when you're just a username.
Exactly. And you're hiding behind
Yeah.
a screen and no one can touch you in your
Yeah.
parents' basement where you're, tweeting from or
Yeah.
whatever.
Exactly. And I think because of how online everybody is and how, how everyone's filming stuff on their phone, or like how everything that you do online can be seen by everyone and commented on. I think we want to, unless, you're able to arrive at a point where you don't care about what anyone thinks of you, we want people to like us. We want to be liked. We want, the majority of the public to not think that we suck.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
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 All of what you're saying is so true.
Mm-hmm.
I think as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about like you're bringing up a lot of the things that I think are my barriers too, of like being confident and vulnerable and self-accepting. I think some of the things that maybe keep me from doing that are like first of all, like my anxiety disorder
Yeah.
makes me for lack of a better word, like not neurotypical. So I feel this responsibility to act like someone who is neurotypical. But it's like I have this chemical imbalance. And so that's really hard to hold myself to the same standards as people who don't drive themselves crazy thinking about things every day. Do you have that experience too sometimes?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I'm someone who, so when I was 4, I was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is an outdated term, because the guy that it was named after, we learned later, was a Nazi sympathizer.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's just, if you were diagnosed with Asperger's before, I think, like 2015 or something, don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert. But now it's just like generalized as autism spectrum disorder.
Gotcha.
But it's like a weird, it's a weird label for me because because like, objectively speaking, if I am like under that label, I am very high functioning. And really the only things that I struggle with are certain social cues, but I feel like that was more so when I was younger. versus now I'm like, okay, I learned what this social cue meant. I have that in my brain. I can continue on forward without making a complete fool of myself. But I get overwhelmed in social situations.
Absolutely.
Everyone has like a fight or flight response. I have a freeze response.
Wait, really? I was literally talking to someone about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I also freeze.
Yeah, which was like a really that was like a huge point of frustration in my Meisner class because my teacher was like, okay, people either have like a fight or flight response, and I'm like, I don't really do either. I'm just like what do I do? What do I do? What do I do when I'm encountering a situation?
Mhm.
And he was like, well, that's not very interesting to watch on stage. And I'm like, man.
You know what? Screw this guy.
Yeah. I swear he's a good person. It's just I was very frustrated. Anyway, back on topic. But yeah, no. So the things that I struggle with as someone who has to, essentially as someone under the spectrum somewhat, there is a level of masking that I have to do.
Why do you feel like you have to?
Well, I think I felt like I had to earlier in life, and then masking just became who I am.
Mm.
Like I truly feel like, especially between high school and all throughout college, I don't know if it was just like me maturing or me taking all of the negative social interactions I had growing up. I was bullied a lot growing up, and I didn't want that to happen again. So I'm like, okay, what do I have to change about myself to get people to like me finally?
Ugh.
And I think that's, and the crappy part is that it worked. Like, more people like me now, which I think part of that is, I learned, I finally learned certain social cues. And then also, I think the older you get, the more empathy and people have, and nicer people become.
Mhm.
Middle schoolers are the devil.
They
Middle
really
schoolers are
are.
so mean.
So what are
Yeah.
the changes that
Mhm.
you made for that people liked you better for?
I think, just trying my best to, be accommodating to everyone. I'm constantly trying to be mindful of like, oh, am I like I never want to get in anyone's way. So I'll hold doors open for like, I mean, this is like, I feel like I'm about to explain like, oh yeah, no duh, like hold doors open for people, but like sometimes it'll be like a little bit too much.
Do you think, like
Yeah.
sometimes you're putting other people before yourself and it's
Constantly.
like a detriment sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where like I feel like I prioritize other people's comfort and safety over my own, to the point where several people have told me, John, you can be a little selfish. And it's just, I don't have that. I don't know. It's like I don't have that instinct in me.
Well, and I bet that derives so much from what we were talking about with the negative self-talk and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you deconstruct yourself so much with all these thoughts and these negative
Mhm.
affirmations
I
that
do
you
think,
just see
yeah.
like a lesser value.
I do think part of it is that, but also I think generally I do believe, like, I don't believe in like, like me first, push everyone aside mentality. Like
And
I
that is not what we're preaching
yeah, no,
here.
exactly. I want to lift everybody up. I want to make sure everybody's okay, and I want to, if I'm able to, fight for the wellness, the well-being and happiness of other people.
Mhm.
I think I have to learn how to do it without the detriment of my sanity.
Yeah.
And it's difficult sometimes, because when I think about it and think about, what I want, it's hard to come up with any answers. I feel like lately, I've just been sort of coasting. Like, I'm still, working and, doing what I can. But I feel like there's like a certain spark that I'm trying to find again, that I had, when I was younger. It's weird. I've had the thought, especially lately, that, man, I think I was happier when I was, at living with my parents and doing dumb comic dubs with my friends, versus now where I'm like, okay, time to record an audiobook for 5 hours.
Yeah. Well, and I bet there's like,
Mhm.
I mean, first of all, you are not alone in that feeling. I bet there's so many people, even just listening
Mhm.
right now that feel the same way of
Yeah.
just coasting, you know?
Yeah, and like I feel weird complaining about it because like I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I get to do this for a living. And I do find joy in this from time to time. Uh and I think that's the thing that keeps me moving forward is like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing like the mundane stuff that, pays well but isn't like super fulfilling, so I can get to the stuff that like actually is fulfilling and makes me feel alive and like makes me feel this is why I became an actor. This is fun.
What are
Um
some of those things?
oh my god. I mean, uh just so many. I mean, I feel like most of the time, most sessions I have, where I have a director that I jive with, whether it's like a game, dubbing project, whatever. It's just like we're there to play. Like we match up with each other's wavelengths
Mhm.
super well, and I don't have anxiety about making the thing good or whether this person likes me. It's just like we're chill. Let's go have fun, and it's so it's really freeing, and you know, I've been very lucky to have a lot of. I'm talking in generalities because a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about hasn't come out yet. But I'm very lucky to have worked on a lot of those projects. I mean, I know you mentioned it, but Date Everything, which is out now. Uh,
Go
no,
play it.
that was that session felt so special because one of the directors on that game, Amanda Hufford, we go back like I've known Amanda since 2018, and they actually offered me that part. And getting to work on a project like this with so many of my heroes in the cast, with one of my longest friends in voiceover, that was so special to me. And that'll be something that I cherish for a really long time.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to play it too. And
Yeah.
I love I think I'm finding like a through line in the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you're talking about too is like d- when you feel like you're just coasting,
Mm-hmm.
but when you find those things that joy that
Mm-hmm.
fills your soul again, a lot of it is related to passion and a
Yeah.
lot of it is related to like connection.
Yeah.
You were talking about the director and the jive that you guys had. You're
Mm-hmm.
talking about your friend who got you into this and to be able to work with all those people.
Yeah.
I mean, can you attest to like how human connection can serve us in times of like again just feeling like we're coasting?
Yeah. No, I mean, if I didn't have the friends that I have here, I I would be miserable. I mean, when I first moved here, so I moved to California, had never stepped foot in California, and like until I moved here, around summer of 2021. So it's been almost 4 years. I moved here originally. I had a full-time job as a motion graphics designer lined up, and I worked, full-time, salaried for 2 years, before getting laid off. But that's a whole different story. And for 3 months, I was just so miserable. I didn't know anyone except for the people that I knew at work. And it wasn't until, a lot of the friends that I made online through voiceover also started moving to LA. I then had IRL friends that I could
Hmm.
hang out with. And it's because, I mean, there is something to be said about, people in the artistic field wanting friends that aren't artists because they don't want their life to be consumed by work. That said, there is a certain camaraderie that I have with my fellow VO friends where we don't have to explain ourselves. Like we understand what everyone is going through. And we're also able to uplift each other, whether that's career wise and recommending people to rosters, to agencies, to directors, or just helping each other out. Like, hey, do you need a reader for this? Or hey, can you help me with like this audition
Hmm.
or whatever? Um, it's just I at this point I feel like one of the main reasons I'm in VO is for the people. I love the people, and I just want to keep doing cool projects with my friends. It's
I love the community
yeah.
that we have in voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
It is like Oh, it stems back to when I used to live in San Diego and I did
Mhm.
another job that I thought was going to be my career, and I didn't realize like how depressed I was.
Mhm.
And I don't remember if I've told you this story yet or not,
I
but
think you
I
did,
think
yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
We had ramen like a week ago. It was
Yeah.
great.
Mhm.
But I'll
But,
just
like, tell it for the
yeah,
people.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
reiterate it.
Yeah.
I was super depressed because I lived in a place, we talked about like passion and connection. I lived in a place where only my passion was being fulfilled.
Yeah.
But I did not have any friends. In San Diego, it is hard to make friends if you're under the age of 21 because there's so much of it is like club culture,
Mhm.
and so I was like, I don't have any friends.
Mhm.
But then I remembered going to my very first in-person VO thing, which was like a weekend-long retreat in the mountains and forest, and it was
Mm.
amazing. And that is when I remembered what happiness felt like. I feel like that was my moment
Mhm.
of like coasting and just waking up every day to do the kind of same thing. I remember thinking consciously to myself, like, we're on the same freeway, wake up in the same bed, in the same room. Is this my life for the
Mhm.
next like 20, 30 years?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that connection.
Mhm.
And when I found it in our community, I just felt like that spark was reunited. You talked
Yeah.
earlier about like that spark, and it's really just changed my life for the entire the way better. Like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, I
yeah.
moved cities. That's how I ended up here. That's how I met you. That's how I met so many amazing people. And it's like, yes, the career is great. Voiceover is a fun job, guys.
Mhm.
But all of that aside, just having friends who care about you, who you
Yeah.
connect with,
Mhm.
it is everything.
Yeah.
And so my beautiful friends, if you feel like you're coasting and you're just waking up every day, I can attest to the magic of just friendship and human connection.
Yeah, it's like it like found family like that is very special. Like especially when I forget where's your family located?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, well you're closer to them. My family's all,
Where's yours?
well, I have family in like upstate New York and Florida.
Oh,
So like all on the East Coast.
that's not a day trip.
No, no, it is not. So, I'm far away from them a lot and I haven't seen a lot of them in years. So, the fact that I have so many people that I know around here that, I love like family, it makes me, like living here.
Makes everything
Yeah.
worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, it makes it worthwhile, exactly.
Can I just say we we briefly mentioned we got ramen the other week
Oh yeah.
after watching Thunderbolts
Thunderbolts.
for my 7th time.
For my first time, I kept missing out on it and
It's so
I
good.
caught it right before it left theaters.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That conversation that you and me had,
Mhm.
that like made my week.
Really?
Yeah, no, really. And like that found family you were talking about, like I feel that so strongly with you, and I
Yeah.
just want to thank you for that conversation that we had because it really did like make my week. You just are so genuine and aware, and I told you these things already, but I just wanted to gas you up again, and thank you for just like being a part of my life here.
Stop it.
No, get back here.
Okay.
I really do. See, like we can't
Mhm.
even take compliments.
Mhm.
But just thank you.
Yeah, I meant it. I really did. Because I do feel like you learn pretty quickly, the people in your life that genuinely care about you and the ones that don't. Um, and I was talking to someone recently, and she mentioned, yeah, I have like, my forever friends and I have my spoonful friends. They're people that I can handle like once every few months. Um, and and it's not to say that like they're good or bad or anything. It's just like not everyone jives with everyone else.
Ugh.
But especially in our industry, finding kinship like that is very, very important and very honestly sort of necessary for your survival.
100%
Yeah, yeah.
necessary for
Mhm.
anyone's survival. Again, we keep talking about voiceover, but it
Mhm.
is like so true just in our
Mhm.
everyday lives, no matter what our career is, if we even have a career, if we're just in high school,
Yeah.
those connections are everything.
Mhm.
And that's why I love Thunderbolts so much, is because that's the theme of the movie.
Go see Thunderbolts.
Go see Thunderbolts.
It's probably streaming now, right?
Hopefully. By the time this premieres, hopefully it's on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. and I will be in my room watching it for an 8th time.
Yeah, do you think if you mention it enough, Marvel will invite you to a red carpet?
No, I don't
Okay.
think that. Maybe.
Yeah. Just realized that, like, on the mic, it probably sounded like I said red carp and not carpet.
Do you want to try again?
Hey, Kennedy.
Yeah.
Do you think if you mention Thunderbolts, like, enough times in this podcast, Marvel will invite you on a red carpet?
A red carpet?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. I actually want to tell the story of how I got you on the podcast. We were at a mutual friend's party, mutual friend's birthday party, and it was so loud in there. Oh
yeah,
my
we
goodness.
both found refuge.
On the balcony.
Yeah, they had like a condo where you walk up and then, you know, it's just living room, kitchen, super, super loud. And we were like, okay, all of our friends are actors. They're all loud. They're all drinking and playing Mario Kart. Let's go out on the balcony where it is sort of quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And
Yeah.
I was like, hey, so like I have this like podcast thing about mental health, and you just started like spitting this wisdom. I don't know where it came from, but you started talking about like self-worth and negative self-talk, and I was just like, and I remember like we both sat down like crisscross applesauce facing each other on this balcony, and I was just like, you are so smart and emotionally like intuitive, and I wish I had a camera right now.
What's funny is that I don't like, and this isn't me trying to be self-deprecating. It's like, I don't necessarily feel that way. I just feel like, you know, these are just my experiences. And more often than not, I feel like I'm talking out of my ass. And I just think, you know, these are the things that I've experienced. I feel like this is what has, you know, this is what has been true for me. Maybe it's true for other people. I'm just doing my best, dude. You know, we're all trying.
We are all trying. Well, I want you to absorb that and process that. I really do think that you are all those things that I said. And you might not feel it, but that is the way that I feel.
Well, while we're gassing each other up, I've got some things to say about you.
Oh, no. You know what? I'm going to take this.
Yeah. What?
No! Okay. Oh, no. Don't. What?
No, but seriously, Kennedy, you are so kind. And, you know, always look out for others, and you want the best for other people. You're also so welcoming, and you go out of your way to make everyone feel like the most important person. And also, you're someone who has the tenacity, professionalism, and wisdom of someone who's 10 years older than you actually are. Which is why I thought you were older than you actually are. Not that you don't, not that you look old. Crap.
I knew this was a bad idea.
Listen. Like you're what, 21?
I am just freshly 22.
Okay. I thought you were 28 when we first met.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Gotta get a new skincare routine.
No, you look
I'm just kidding.
No, here's the thing.
No, thank you. That's very, very nice of you to say. That's very kind. And I will take the compliment.
Yeah.
Because that's what we should do. We should accept our strengths. Thank you.
My point is that you're wise beyond your years, and I truly believe that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Again, I will process that, and I will take that in. That feels good. It feels good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I will tell those things to myself in the mirror tonight, and hopefully someday we can start to believe it. Oh my goodness. I have to ask. Wait, so where did you grow up again?
I grew up in upstate New York in a town in a county called Schenectady. It's
Schenectady?
Yeah, Schenectady.
That sounds like one of the nicknames my friends would call me when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's a lot of upstate New York counties have really weird names. There's there's Utica, there's Watertown.
Watertown?
Watertown, that's where my mom's from.
Wow, that's kind of awesome. That sounds like a One Piece arc.
Yeah.
Watertown.
Going to Watertown. Will they finally find the One Piece there? Probably
no, they
not.
won't.
But no, I grew up in upstate New York. Schenectady is like the smallest county in New York State. So it was the best way I can describe it. It's like upstate New York is like the Midwest if it was in the Northeast. So there's lots of cornfields, there's farms. I lived in like a sort of I lived in a suburb, but like everyone had a huge backyard, and houses were spaced apart from each other. And, I think I'm nostalgic for it because it's, where I grew.
We're just gonna keep going.
I am nostalgic for where I grew up, and I also moved when I was in high school. So we moved from upstate New York to Florida, and I feel like that's where a lot. It's funny because Florida is where I discovered acting and theater, which is closely tied to what I do now. But I do feel like there's a lot of experiences that I had growing up in upstate New York that I feel called towards, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just I miss it there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I miss my hometown too. But they are what made us, right? We can.
Yeah.
John, this has been so amazing. I don't want to have to cut it short, but I will vulnerably share that our camera's having problems.
Yeah. So the camera that's on me has died, 3 times?
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to take personally at all.
And we're not supposed to share the behind the scenes thing, but that's the whole freaking point of this podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up, but not before I ask you our very last question. It's the last question we ask everybody on the show. It is the most vulnerable question.
Uh-oh.
And so I encourage everyone who is at home to ask yourselves the same question. God damn it. And John, I want you to tell us, what is your favorite thing about yourself?
My favorite thing about myself is...
Keep it going. We're so freaking close. I told you guys that our camera was having difficulty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's hear it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite thing about yourself, John?
I believe that I am someone who is very loyal to the people that I care about. I think I'm reliable. If you need any sort of favor or you need help with anything, I am there to help you out, to serve you, to, make sure that everything's okay. I just want to be helpful. I want to be useful, and if I'm able to make someone have a better day, either, by a little or a lot, I will do it.
I like that about you too, John.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been really great. Thank you.
You're just so full of wisdom.
Stop it.
Any last special things you want to say to our amazing folks?
Let me try to be wisdomous.
Okay.
If that is a word, it's not. But I know the world's scary. The world is really scary right now, and it's hard to maintain hope, and it's hard to maintain positivity. And you don't have to gaslight yourself into thinking everything's okay when it's not. It's okay to feel that way. But if you haven't already, find your people. Find your people. Find your community. Because if you work and do creative things with the people that you love and you're kind, amazing things will happen. I stole that last bit from Conan O'Brien. Google Conan O'Brien last Tonight Show monologue. It's great. It's one of my favorite. No, genuinely, it's like a very inspiring speech that he did.
Well, that was very inspiring what you just said. That's amazing. And I'll just close on that by being like, absolutely everything that you said. I've spoken about it before. It's a huge theme of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My friends, self-compassion and human connection is everything that we have. It is going to get us through those hardest times when all we can think about and all we can talk about and all we can tell ourselves are just the worst, most untrue, unhelpful things. Your friends will be there for you. You need that support system, just like John said. So reach out, share your vulnerabilities. It is the way that we connect with each other. And so I'll just close by telling you to remember that vulnerability is something to be proud of. That was good.
Yeah. No, that was such a good... Dude, you're so good at this.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
I don't feel like it.
Dude, like my ending thing was like, I felt like I was rambling, like trying to figure out what I wanted to say.
No, that was so beautiful and like slow so insincere. It was amazing.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
seriously. Just you wait. Maybe I'll do like a slow pan with some music rising in the background.
No,
I'm
don't
just
do that.
kidding. I would not do that.